It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we've got a beer from Tiny Rebel Brewing Company, and this is a can of their original Nuttah. It's a nut brown ale coming in at 5% ABV. Like the can, 440 milliliter can. It looks really cool. Now, I'm really excited about this because I picked this up in my little hamlet here of the little town where I live, and I went round the shop. Actually, I'll tell you a quick story. Went outside, my Polish mate out there was fixing his car, and he said, "Simon, come and have a look at this." And he showed me a couple of Polish beers he's bought from this shop around the way. It used to be a pub closed down, now it's a cost cutter. So they've been dabbling with beer and American sweets and chocolates and crisps for a while. Then they had a refurb. It's just opened, this place. First time I went round to this shop. And they've got like a range of beers in there. Craft beers, Polish beers. And it's really nice to see. And it's a really, really good thing for me that I can just go over there, round the corner, and pick up some canned craft nut brown ale from Tiny Rebel, and others, of course. We got other beer reviews coming. Without further ado, that was the excitement bit out of the way, the fact that I can just go around the shop now and buy canned craft beer. Without further ado, let's get this can out into a glass and see what we get. I've always been a bit of a fan of Tiny Rebel. I've been following their journey since probably 2012 when the brewery first launched. They launched in Wales with huge fanfare, they really did. They used to have a really cool ice cream van which they used to sell the beer out of. And the beer, they used to produce some like bonkers stonking double IPAs and IPAs, and they were really, really good. They've since chosen to go down a slightly different path over the last few years. More of a kind of an adjuncty path where they're brewing with kind of concentrates, but a lot of people like that. I mean, it's probably on the fence for me. You're either going to love it or you're not. I'm hoping. I picked this up because I was like, nut brown ale from Tiny Rebel. I'm hoping that this could be a really, really good beer. I reckon this could be a really, really good beer. It was £2.50 for the can, which I thought was really reasonable for a 5% ABV craft beer. We got a 2-finger, slightly off-white head. Definitely looks like a nut brown ale. Look at the quality on that. Let's get the aroma. It smells like a really good nut brown ale. See, now this is what I'm after from Tiny Rebel. I know Tiny Rebel can brew amazing beer because, well, I was just talking about their double IPAs and their barrel-aged beers, and they used to be tremendous beers. I still like Club Tropicana. I've had a few good lagers from them. That Jam Roly-Poly beer was pretty cool. But that is really nutty, really biscuity. This is like blast from the past Tiny Rebel. Let's dive in. Cheers, everybody. Ho, ho, ho. Ho, 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 ho. Wow. Wow. Stone the crows. Stone the crows. What a fantastic nut brown ale this is. You know, normally when you want to style a beer like this, you're looking north. You're looking north to Yorkshire. If you're watching in Yorkshire, you're looking around your area. But from where I'm sat, South Wales, if you want a really good nut brown ale, you normally got to look north. Leeds, Manchester, Sheffield, those type of beautiful places where they produce really good, great tasting traditional beer alongside fantastic craft beer, of course. I don't think I've ever had a nut brown ale from Wales. Don't think I've ever had a nut brown ale from Wales. This is terrific. And most importantly, I'll tell you a little fact. Newcastle brown ale. Everybody knows Newcastle brown ale. It tastes terrible these days, absolutely terrible. But if you live in the South Wales area, or if you want to know what Newcastle brown ale probably tasted like when it first came out, look no further than this beer. Look no further than this beer. I reckon this is, I mean, look, it looks like a Newcastle brown ale. Newcastle brown ale now is an absolute shell of its former self. It's a nothing beer. It's more or less a coloured lager. I call it a coloured lager. It's a pint of generic mass-produced lager with a bit of colouring in. But if you want to taste what it used to taste like back in the day when it first came out, look no further than this beer. Honestly, this beer is terrific. Absolutely terrific. Original Nuttah. I'm going to go and clear the shelf now. I'm going to finish this beer review in the next couple of minutes. And I'm going to go back over that shop and clear the shelf of this. This is beautiful, beautiful nut brown ale. Good creamy mouthfeel. Biscuity, bready, nutty, nice little bit of carbonation, pushes the beer around the inside of the mouth. Oh, I'm hoping this is the future of Tiny Rebel. I really am hoping that Tiny Rebel are just going to maybe pull back a little bit from the adjuncty type beers. There's me talking about adjuncts. There's probably a few nuts added to this beer, but you know what? I don't really care about that. So technically it's probably still an adjuncty type beer, but if they could produce maybe a few more traditional styles of beer that are not really produced anymore. I mean, you don't really see that many nut brown ales anymore. This is bonkersly good. It really is. I know it kind of looks a little bit like flat cap whippet type beer from Yorkshire, but you've really got to give it a go. You've really got to give it a go. It's tremendous. It's tremendous. I'm going to go as far as to say that this is probably the best Tiny Rebel beer that I've had from the last 6 years of Tiny Rebel brewing beer and me tasting Tiny Rebel's beers. This is by far head and shoulders above anything I've had from these guys in a long time. This is terrific beer. I like enough to give it a Stone the Crows 10 out of 10. It's a 10 out of 10 beer from Real Ale Craft Beer. Looks really funky, the can. It looks really funky, really fresh. But what is inside that can is the most brilliant, traditional tasting nut brown ale that you'll ever want to try. Thanks for watching. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom! Cheers!